Good evening, everyone. Welcome to Yellow's the Code program. We're doing a special edition tonight in reference to our Prime Minister's Development Plan. And I have with me here uh, our civil engineer, Mr. Ken Dalchan. Ken, I want to welcome you back to the program.
Thank you very much,
And
Gary.
we're going to be discussing our Prime Minister's master plan, and the master plan kind of falls in line with what we were suggesting, So, I want to, to say give all that support and encouragement to what the Prime Minister is trying to do because she falls right in line to what the way we are thinking, and we want to see the actually the Gulf area being developed more so along for the cruise ship and we've also been speaking about a causeway and everything, will tie in as far as I see with the development plan that the Prime Minister has. So, Mr. Dalchan, I want to welcome you back to Yellow's Eco Program on UNC USA. And you could probably give us a little insight on how your perspective is on this.
Well, I reviewed the video and some of the plans, the proposed plans, and it's a very, very ambitious project. In fact, it's a series of projects. Um, Starting with the development of Carrera, that once it's that island that was once designated for as a prison, and it's really underutilized as is. So again, in terms of development as a whole, I see a lot of potential, and this plan sort of picks it up, you know, without leaving any stone unturned. Now, we saw a project um, that the Honorable Minister Jaylin John rolled out in Vedas Bay, and that too is a very ambitious plan, and it requires a lot of resources, a lot of planning. Um, the the turnaround for this or the prospect to to deliver this would be a long term from 2025 on to I think it's 2035, right? Um, and yes, projects of this size and nature, these mega projects, would have longer durations. However, Gary, we spoke about some of the secondary works that has to be done, right, in order to proceed, that will accompany and complement all of this development. You know, for example, the infrastructure, the existing infrastructure, the roadway, right? There's a lot of congestion, traffic congestion and stuff in Port of Spain. And we can also look at alternate sites for some of these projects. I mean, Central has a lot of undeveloped land. There's a lot of room for potential growth there. And you and I have been discussing a causeway where we want to connect Central and do an alignment coming along the coast into Port of Spain. That will alleviate a lot of traffic. Now, we also spoke about ferry terminal in central Trinidad, and that also would help with traffic congestion, a park and ride. You know, we do it here in the States. We have a lot of park and ride where commuters would park their vehicle in a massive parking lot and then they would jump on a train and head to the city. So we too can do the same uh, plan. We could implement a plan similar to what is being utilized or in place in some parts of the world, like the United States and Canada and Europe. You know, um, but we also have to think about future development. 50 years from now, how is the traffic condition going to look like? Is it going to is it going to get worse? Um, my take on that is yes, if we don't plan properly and we don't continue to upgrade the infrastructure, right, with the development. So as places start to develop and change of use, for example, from agriculture to commercial or residential, it starts to take effect. It's going to have a strain on the infrastructure if we don't start to upgrade as the development is happening. So what I'm looking at is the causeway and also the expansion of the existing road networks. Now, in transportation engineering, there's something called the level of service, the LOS, right? and it's more a sort of a qualitative um, classification of the existing roads, where you would do interviews, surveys, and so forth by commuters or end users, and they will give you a feedback on the experiences, their wait time, you know, during peak hours, and it's mainly evaluated based on speed and travel time, traffic flow and density, freedom to maneuver, comfort and convenience, delay and congestion. And that level of service is rated from A, meaning the best, and a F, the worst. So I think before we move forward, we have to do our traffic studies, which will be part of our overall feasibility. And then we would see exactly how we're going to proceed with the upgrades. But we definitely have to upgrade the infrastructure. Um, and I see a lot of potential there. You know, these projects are very ambitious, and it would definitely put Trinidad in the map. And it is what we need, because we can't depend on oil and gas, you know, as our saving grace. At some point, it's going to run out, or there's going to be a
Ken,
shift.
I want to see that Gulf, like I said to you before, and I want to see that Gulf area this develop along even with the causeway that we have additional things to add like ports and different things, industrial port, ferry port.
Correct.
That cruise ship idea can fit very nicely within what we planning to do along with the development of the bird sanctuary, creating that park and ride. So there'll be accommodation for the ferry boat to come in, the cruise ship to come on alongside in the Gulf there too. So I don't want to do like what they're doing here in the US and create more clutter in New York City, in Port of Spain, because we need
Yeah,
to
yeah,
decentralize. We need to focus more so on
correct.
decentralization, and that's what I'm shooting at, and I'm hoping that we can move in that direction. Go
Yeah.
ahead.
So we could also, well said, Gary. So we could also propose an alternate. We could say, hey, you know what? Why don't we look at an alternate site for some of these projects? I know you guys already earmarked, some sites, but we could look at Central. Central is fairly uh, underdeveloped in some places.
Yeah, I don't
Um,
want to push everything into Port of Spain and create more clutter. We are trying to. We should focus on
well, the cruise ship terminal, that will definitely have to win in Port of Spain there, right? Um, I think it would be a big plus, but also I think we could shift some of these projects to Central, right? And not have to run into Port of Spain for everything, because in order to really build these projects, we'll have to upgrade the infrastructure there. And s- given the fact that how Port of Spain is so developed, it's going to be a huge challenge. Not that I'm saying that it cannot be done, but the cost to achieve it is going to be uh, monumental, because you may have to purchase, some you may have to do land acquisitions along the way, right? Um, so yeah, so we have to look at the cost benefit, and then do the
welcome, Dr.
assessments.
Maraj.
Right, how are you? How are you?
Go ahead, Ken. Go ahead, Ken. Go
Good, good,
ahead,
yeah.
Ken.
Welcome, Dr. Maraj. So
Okay.
yeah, so I think definitely we could look at some other alternates also in terms of location, and try to create some attractiveness to Central. You know, right now we need jobs also. Almost in every part of Trinidad and Tobago, from Sandy Grande to South Trinidad to North Trinidad. You know, now well, let me just say one thing. The Prime Minister also mentioned 50,000 jobs created, which is going to be a huge driver in the economy and it's going to lift things. So yeah, so I see a big plus here moving forward.
Yeah, but,
A
but,
lot
but
of planning.
I think we could create more than 50,000 jobs. We could create
Yeah, this is
50
at
times
a minimum.
50,000 jobs because the development I am speaking about, if we do that along the Gulf, and they're speaking about creating a hub. This is something I've suggested, many moons and many times. So we create that Gulf area into a hub. For exchange. That's like how we have the Panama Canal. Where there's a hub for the ship to stop by and refuel, and then for the tourists also. And then so this is a multifaceted, multi-purpose agenda. And if we go in that direction, I think we're definitely going to create more than 50 times 50,000 jobs.
Definitely, definitely, Gary. Because I like to use the example with St. Lucia. I was out there a couple of years ago, and in Castries, I was amazed to see actually four cruise ships coming into the port there. And then every Friday they would have a big street party. I forgot the name of the place. And almost every one on that or every person or every passenger on that cruise ship was at that street party, spending money, enjoying themselves, indulging in the local content, the
Yeah,
food.
waterfront restaurants, something like how we have it
Yeah.
down in Baltimore,
So we will see a lot
and
of
in
development.
Florida,
Yeah,
too.
so it's going to drive development, and with that, job creation also, right? Now think about the foreign exchange. So yeah, so it's a big plus. I mean, to have a state of the art ferry term cruise ship port will be a huge plus. So to expand on what we already have. But I know you have another guest, Mr. Maraj.
Hello, hi.
Yeah,
Hi, Dr.
Mr.
Maraj, how are
Maharaj
you?
will be part of the conversation too. So go ahead, Ken. Yeah.
Go ahead, Ken. I'll listen to you.
Yeah, so I am definitely supporting that initiative, those proposals. Um, Gary, you and I, we've been talking from day one about Sandy Grande also, right?
Yeah,
So we
yeah.
have to see,
Building the port on that side
yes,
also will
and
also be the
even
development. Yeah.
connecting Tobago, right? So this way you don't have to now take a water taxi to come around or ferry from Port of Spain to make that journey or that trip. We could cut it down by almost 50%, right? In terms of travel time. So if we could do a deep water ferry terminal somewhere along that alignment, that northeast coast there, right? To connect to Tobago. That would be a huge, huge, huge benefit to the people of Tobago and Trinidad. And I think it will really um, open up that part of the island in terms of development, job creation, and so forth. So
Yeah.
yeah, so that's a big
Also I have in mind, that the carcass area there, we will do something eventually there as the money flows, but definitely the Gulf and also Tobago will recreate that inter-island connection. I was able to upload the video, Ken. Let me just play it for a little bit.
yeah, no problem. Let it roll.
Welcome to Trinidad and Tobago, our vibrant twin island nation, now emerging as a global logistical hub. We're unlocking new pathways, connecting us to the world, signaling that we are open for business. Today, we proudly unveil the revitalization blueprint designed to usher in a new era of opportunity. Join us now as we walk you through the key projects shaping this exciting new chapter. We begin our journey in the South capital, San Fernando, where transformation takes root and vision becomes reality. Node 1 ignites the revitalization blueprint with 39 catalytic projects, each one a bold step toward a thriving, reimagined Trinidad and Tobago. The key subnodes include Plaza San Carlos, the vibrant waterfront living district blending commercial and residential life, and the pioneering health city. Plaza San Carlos, a journey through time and taste. Step into the heart of heritage at Plaza San Carlos, a beautifully preserved historic market square that pulses with life. Now as the centerpiece of the reproposed historic district, Plaza San Carlos welcomes the arrival of the last train to San Fernando, a nostalgic tram that glides along the waterfront, offering visitors a scenic and symbolic ride through the soul of the city. This vibrant pedestrian haven is lined with charming colonnades and brims with local flavor, from cozy restaurants and artisanal food stalls to eclectic craft vendors and stylish boutiques. Plaza San Carlos, the soul of the South.
I met with sweet Dorothy. She said, tomorrow I'm joining in matrimony. And if you act...
Nestled along the serene shoreline, the Waterfront Hotel offers a luxurious escape with breathtaking views, elegant accommodations, and world-class service. Whether you're here for business or leisure, it's the perfect blend of comfort and coastal charm. We honor our island's role as sanctuary to the majestic leatherback turtle. This cutting-edge convention center stands as a living tribute to global connections. The center welcomes international summits, corporate dialogues, and vibrant cultural exchanges, all under one roof. Wake up to the aroma of breakfast favorites and vibrant local produce. The al fresco market is the place to be. From live performances under the stars to weekend yoga and family fun, this dynamic space is the heartbeat of entertainment and activity. Whether you're catching a concert or kicking back with friends, there's always something happening here. The redevelopment of San Fernando's waterfront marks a historic turning point for the city and the wider southern corridor. Transforming a neglected coastal town into southern Trinidad's civic heart, the project promises to catalyze growth in tourism, healthcare, and the cultural economy. This is a cultural and economic renaissance, one that finally grants San Fernando the grand maritime frontage it has long deserved.
On my mind I had nothing else but romance. I said to myself, boy, you better beat this iron.
Health City, spanning over 14 hectares, will serve as the cornerstone of a visionary precinct dedicated to health and wellness. Encompassing state-of-the-art hospitals, clinics, and medical research centers, it will foster high-skilled employment and attract patients from across the region. This strategic shift from a tourism-centric economy marks a vital step toward building a more resilient and diversified urban future. From San Fernando to Mayaro, the highway extension is forging a vital link to the southeast energy hub at Galeota. From there, we advance westward to Node 3 in Cedros, where upgrades to our Coast Guard facilities and the introduction of customs and immigration services will strengthen our southern gateway. Continuing northwest to Node 4, at Tetron, our Coast Guard headquarters, we complete the arc, from shoreline to open sea, fortifying Trinidad and Tobago's coastal border security. Revitalization Node 5, Port of Spain ascends. North Trinidad's capital city is stepping boldly into the future. As part of the revitalization blueprint, 38 projects will unfold across Port of Spain. Our North Capital will showcase architectural excellence, a state-of-the-art multimodal hub, new port city and industrial estate, specialized health city, a waterfront worthy of a nation's pride. Every project is designed to honor our island's natural beauty while unlocking its potential. Port of Spain's waterfront will become a symbol of progress, pride, and possibility. The revitalized foreshore will unveil a new standard of coastal living, featuring premium waterfront residencies, sophisticated apartments offering panoramic sea views and seamless access to the city's vibrant edge. A dynamic retail promenade, a curated mix of boutiques, cafes, and culinary gems, thoughtfully arranged along a breezy boardwalk. A cultural and creative pulse, more than a destination, it's a living canvas of coastal charm, local flair, and everyday indulgence. Anchoring the waterfront skyline, this visionary development seamlessly integrates a global financial center with a state-of-the-art international convention center, creating a dynamic nexus for commerce and collaboration. Rising alongside our iconic hotel towers offering world-class hospitality, complemented by 2,000 luxurious waterfront residences that redefine urban living. With over 200 marina berths, the Invaders Bay Marina invites a vibrant maritime culture, positioning the destination as a premier hub for business and leisure. The Infinity 8 Towers. Embodying endless possibility, graceful balance, and the promise of renewal. Their name evokes the elegant arc traced by a hummingbird's wings, an eternal dance of motion and meaning, inspired by one of Trinidad and Tobago's most beloved creatures. Moving along the waterfront, we introduce you to our state-of-the-art convention center. Gracefully anchored on the breathtaking waterfront, our architecturally iconic, state-of-the-art convention center redefines Caribbean excellence, where visionary design converges with extraordinary experiences. A vibrant
So that's just half of the video. So Ken, maybe you could comment on that, and I'll show the other half a little bit later. Dr. Mirage,
Mhm.
go ahead.
Go ahead, Ken.
Yeah, Gary, we picked up a lot there from from showcasing and highlighting local content to the amphitheater, to residential communities, to a financial hub. You name it. So it's a very, very ambitious project. Um, and um, I could see it happening, but we definitely need to have that public-private partnership involved here
But
because
you
this,
see, you see how the causeway falls into place again.
oh yeah, it will complement that.
Wrapping around Trinidad, just like how the FDR wraps around and it connects back to the George Washington on one end, and then you go to the waterfront back at
Correct,
South Street Seaport down there, right? So what I'm
correct.
saying, if we wrap the causeway around there, and high enough where the ship can pass underneath, it's a multifaceted thing, but so everything falls in line. So go ahead.
We we will have to connect San Fernando, Port of Spain, and other places and build
with
out
the
that
causeway,
network
with the causeway, with the
with the
causeway.
causeway and also expand the existing roadways and so forth and add new alignments
Yeah,
because
because you will take away from that heavy traffic that they
correct.
on that Butler Highway.
Because with this development, the road capacity is going to be exceeded easily. So we will have to definitely upgrade the network. And that causeway that you're talking about that we've proposed here, um, it will definitely complement the entire project layout, um, and plans and future plans and so forth. Because let's say,
We depends on funding, right? We could even go as far as adding an air train underneath the causeway in a
and,
second level. All right.
and that crossed my mind today because I don't know if you saw two pictures I posted of the Metro Mover, um, the Metro Mover from in Miami that goes around Miami.
That was exactly my thought. Exactly when you show that, exactly how the Metro Mover moves in Miami. They
Yeah,
move on top, the roadway underneath, and they link up Bayside, which is basically what the amphitheater and the stadium, mini stadium, American Airlines Stadium, and all the nice eating places, the walk creating places, could take a little boat ride and have dinner and so on. It's a very
So Ken, if
ambitious
you're good, if you
program.
have since you're still up in Florida, if you happen to pass by there, take a little video shoot for us.
Yeah,
I will. Yeah,
basically Bayside concept. But when I think about it, I saw it today.
yeah,
I saw the entire package or the redevelopment plan. It's very, very ambitious. It's going to take a lot of resources, a lot of foreign investment as well. But then
Well,
again, once
the prime minister is motivated. She is moving in a direction in the way that we are thinking, and I'm happy to know that that we can is everything is falling into place because she's moving a direction in the way that we are thinking, and she's ready to go for it.
definitely, definitely. But Sumat, I'm glad you like the idea with the Metro Mover because let's say a tourist, we have two or three cruise ships enter into our port, right? We're gonna have at least thousands of people coming out there. They want to walk around, they want to move around, right?
and
So
the earlier get them out of the ship is better. It's talking about
yeah,
fast mass transit in different directions. So
correct,
if you
correct.
understand the cruise ship industry as I do, these people just have 4 6 to 6 hours. Now
Yes.
what happened now lately? The cruise lines offer deep.
Sumat, I think we lost you there. Hello?
Yeah,
Sorry,
just
we lost you there for a minute.
okay, just for the tourists to stay on board rather than come out the boat. So if you can have a nice quick getaway for them, like a 4 or 6 hour, and show them, have a carnival village so they can see in one snapshot. They can see the entire carnival, and it just whet the appetite for them to come to carnival the next year around. This is
Yeah,
the
yeah,
whole
definitely.
concept of cruise tourism. Same thing in Tobago. We take them to Pigeon Point and up the fort and so on. Just whet their appetite so they can talk about the destination when they go back, and then they visit now the next year with their family and friends and so on. So
Definitely.
they get a taste of Trinidad. You need that amphitheater setting where go through the whole carnival process in a matter of an hour and a half. And you sell them
They,
all these fancy, local drinks and whatnot and whatnot. It's a package. It's how you
you're
package
right.
it,
Yes,
and that
definitely.
will involve a lot the Ministry of Industry and Investment and
Yeah,
Trade and Tourism, and they have to be part of the package to plan.
correct.
The
And
planning.
somebody, the cruise ship, they would also partner and sell that package.
Oh, big time!
Um,
Big time! Listen,
so yeah, so that would be
this
prepaid for.
this is a crowd puller because we are the last destination in the Caribbean, and you have to offer something unique which you will not see in the other Caribbean islands. You can't match the other Caribbean
Yeah.
islands with sun, sea, and sand tourism. But if you can show them something, this thing like culinary or
Or,
artistic,
or
music,
let me give you a classic example. If we bring them to the amphitheater and we
yep.
give them a steel pan to learn to play that steel pan and
Oh
give them
my,
a crash
well,
course on how to play that pan,
yeah.
right?
Well,
That would be
they
an
should do
experience
that.
by itself.
Correct. In Turtle Beach Hotel now that is branded as Sunfish because of a Canadian guy. But
Mm.
Turtle Beach in Tobago, there's a guy who was the manager, Mr. Ramertan. He used to make sure that all these tourists who come and stay in the hotel, they learn how to make bus-up shot. And he was
Okay.
so smart, he make them eat it and he eat what they cook. So
So yeah, so we're looking at the culinary experience
the
also.
culinary, the classic culinary local dishes, and you combine that with a night, evening, or 2 hours skit on entertainment side. You have the
You have
culinary side, the entertainment, and the
you have
arts and craft,
the
the
limbo with the
arts and
fire and all this kind of thing.
yeah, the limbo dance and all this thing,
Yeah,
and
yeah,
you intermix it with tassa and the kind of condensed package,
yeah,
and you have your art and craft. So when they leave it now, they buy a record, a CD.
yeah, yeah, yeah. So these will be pre-packaged and sold through the cruise lines. So they will purchase that, and then obviously the cruise ship will tell them, hey, you have 2 or 3 hours there to get back to the ship, you know, and we'll have the buses and mass transportation waiting to pick them up to move them around. So a lot of employment will be created there.
Big time, big time. The whole construction phase will be a lot. I think a little bit more than 50,000 jobs if they decide to do all these things. But my concern is that they should take about 3 or 4 of the low hanging ones and run with it, because
Definitely,
they can't do all. And there are certain reasons which I'm thinking about. You know, the you start all 12 and it's just about 30% complete. And God forbid you have a change of government, you have 12 white elephants in the island, or
yeah,
12 white
yeah,
elephants in
No,
the island. Like they
no,
have
no,
done.
no, no, no. On the how to say? Let me see. The eastern side of Trinidad, right?
Uh,
We have the whole continent of Africa and all them other countries on the eastern side of Trinidad. That from that North Atlantic, there's nothing between us and Africa.
correct,
All
correct.
right, like from on my arrow side there, now, you know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
yeah,
yeah,
yeah,
man. Antigua, Tobago too. East Coast, Charlottesville, right down to Speyside, and so on. All
So,
Atlantic coast.
we could pull some action from on that side, eventually, if we develop things on that side. So, I mean, I know we got Galeota and the shipping lines and
Yeah,
things like that, but what I'm saying to you is we make it easy for people to access Trinidad, instead of
yes,
having to make all that circle and wrap around and all this kind of thing, I think
you know,
that port up in Toko there, if we walk around it, we can really, put things
yeah.
together. Yeah.
But you see, Gary, from an economic standpoint, the better thing is will be to develop the Galeota one as a first priority.
But
That
Galeota is more industrial,
Yeah,
So
so you make that the diversification you're talking about, that
yeah,
the
yeah,
forest,
yeah.
it's
Yeah. So
and I
Galiot is more
think,
industrial, but I'm talking about that inter-island connection. See, because I'm
oh
looking at
yeah,
the
yes,
turtles and all that tourism thing up in Toko there. So
yeah,
that would kind of looping into the idea because we build that port going to Tobago and the rest of the islands from that end. And
you're
yeah.
opening up the development of the island. Once
Yeah,
there's
instead of you
road
have to
and
wrap
connectivity,
around and come all the way around,
correct,
you're going straight in, and then you show them what a highway would look like when we develop that highway.
correct,
Yeah,
on
yeah.
modern principles and all these, curves and all these crap, the
Yeah, but
angles,
also that Toko to Manzalina Mayaro say Toko to Caliuta stretch. We could put a nice highway going that way. You understand?
and a boardwalk, certain parts they put in boardwalks and so on, like how they have in New Jersey, there, Ocean Grove.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
Dr. Mara, jump in whenever you're ready. Yeah?
Yeah, yeah.
Ga-
Okay.
Gary, if you know Ocean Grove, there where they have the nice boardwalk, and they have little towns that specialize in certain things, like certain parts specialize in like music and entertainment, like a little town, right? Ocean Grove itself, right there where they have little arena and an amphitheater and so on. And then you go border. You just 2 minutes and you walk down to the boardwalk. You grab your dinner and thing on the boardwalk, and it's nice because let's say you develop Manzan, Grandi, but if you're talking about the beach, anywhere from Manzalina right down to Point Radix, you have so many places you could develop and make them specialized things like guys that go bar hopping, you go from hopping from one little town to the next little town and enjoying the ambience, the food, the music, the entertainment, the local content, whatever. I mean, you want to go Gali, I mean, ride on by and they enjoy a lobster dinner one evening, the next 2 weeks from then they come down to my harbor and enjoy a fish or whatever. So you make it like a community, like what they have in Barbados and Antigua and so on. Every little town specializes in something, and that is a community-based concept. You get fishermen involved, the local little restaurants involved, the food industry involved, the coconut water, the coconut, all these byproducts that you make out of coconut and selling it. The people walk it by, you see things, how life is. When you go and you see things, intend to buy some things. And listen, when you take a drive, and let's say I live in Pfizer and I go now. When I go down to Togo, I want to buy a bunch of coconut, a bunch of plantain, and make sure I come back with something. A
Yeah, but
bottle, a bottle of
the
honey.
trip to Toko should not be a tedious drive because of
Ah,
the
yes,
road condition. We need to
correct,
walk on that
correct,
road, and we
Definitely.
also
correct.
have to walk on that road because of the farmers up there needs access. These
Yes.
are things that Ken has to work on us for also.
And then you have
Definitely.
farmers market and so on to induce people to come. You want to, when people come, they miss man, I didn't go market it, then let me do a little market on the way back or something like that. Now. So
You
these
know,
kind of things. Uh-huh.
definitely. And in fact, when we think about the social media effect, right? Most of the time, you will see this in a social media video, a YouTube video,
Yeah.
um, highlighting and promoting the island and the experience. For example, Sumad, you mentioned the local content, you're buying your coconut, you're planting and stuff. Let me just focus on a guy in Manzanilla. I've been seeing him on YouTube, a guy named Bodo, a
Yeah, yeah,
Rasta guy
the
with
fish
the
guy.
roast fish and stuff. And I
I
tell
want to
myself,
go
yeah,
there. I want to go there.
when next time in Trinidad, I have to go down there,
But
right?
that is my plan. That is my plan. Same thing. Borrow. We
Yeah.
have catching the
And the
fish.
way the
I
man
mean,
cooking this thing in foil and the catch of the day and all this other stuff,
yeah,
you know,
but
it is a certain attractiveness there. You want to go, you want to experience that, you know.
and if you extend like what I did in Castara, I have the dirt oven concept where they bake the bread and thing in the place itself, and
Right.
the fishing village right there. They clean the cook the fish, steam it or fry it or whatever, grill it, and then it this side have the baked bread. Like is you seen how it's done? The dirt oven, everybody in the community gets involved. All the monies earned there goes towards the community. There are no foreigners running this thing. So
Yeah,
nobody
yeah,
can say
nice.
we've serving cornflakes for breakfast
Yeah.
and this kind of crap. It's
Well, we
bacon,
we
fish,
created
or
an
whatever.
opportunity for the people to go into business themselves, right?
That's
Instead
right.
of and
Empowerment.
then you will create the structure for them, in where you educate them how to go about creating that business
Yeah.
Yeah.
plan,
And
and think in a more educated structure.
yeah,
Yeah.
these people fed up with cornflakes and milk in the morning. They'll bring me a nice
Yeah.
bacon balls
And
with it and a cocoa tea, chocolate tea
yeah.
built, or local coffee, and you promote these things. Lunches
Yeah.
are the
Yeah.
listen. There's you don't make so much money on conventional tourism, but you know what? The money stays and circulates in the local environment, and that is much better because when I did my research in Antigua, for example, in 2000, 2003, 2004, that period, Antigua was getting a lot of tourists, a lot of US dollars. But you know what? 94 cents of every dollar was being leaked out. So in other words, the economy only benefiting 6 cents. But you see a lot of tourists there.
Yeah. Yeah.
But everybody want steak. They want, the local dishes and so on. They drink the Courvoisier or whatever it is. Nobody drinking Banks beer or Caribbean. You know what I'm saying? There's a serious leakage, and this is the thing what you're trying to avoid. You're trying to, listen, you can make money several ways, eh? And if you study up the concept of tourism, that is a massive, massive, massive money spinner. You have to get serious on this thing about crime and all these things. You can't have these things as an overhang. People don't want to go in an area like that. But yet, despite all of these things, people like to visit new places to enjoy a new experience. And this community concept, if they can live in little wooden log huts and so on, from trees grown in this area and thing, eat the fish, breadfruit, roast breadfruit, and all these thing in Shark River, Gary, I don't know, catch this kind of small shrimp or a big shrimp or mini lobster, they call it. I forget the name of
Crayfish. A crayfish.
crayfish. Yeah, crayfish is
Yeah.
very popular seasonally at different times of the year and so on. So is a you have to drive the concept and drive the education of the local population, how they can benefit. And once you show them, listen, man, once people start to make money, they start to take care of themselves, start to take care of the community. Eh? And you have the
And you know.
community
Yeah.
policing their own area, and so you get
Correct.
community oriented policing, which was a concept I introduced in Tobago. I made sure guys go up to Miami and got trained into specifically tourism oriented policing. These things
Yeah.
are just going through the shoots now. Nobody is following
Yeah.
up on these things. You have to
You
develop
know.
the industry in
Yeah.
a money making thing. The way when you come down, we must be able to milk you of that money. The Syrian
Yeah.
concept, so to speak. When guys see, okay, you have money, let's milk you that. How we get that out of your eyes is our inventiveness, creativity,
And we
and
have
so on.
to have something to offer for them to want to dip in their pocket to spend and say, "Hey,
This is
I
what
want
guys
that.
you
I want to experience that."
but can you live in Orlando? You know that is getting an old Walt Disney. They
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah.
from
This is a
behind here,
tourist.
they want to get that money out of your pocket.
Correct. 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 This
And
is a
things are
tourist
not
town
cheap
here.
there. Yeah. So the same
Yeah.
concept, you offer them a new experience, a new dining experience, a new living experience.
I
And you're
I would
trying
have
that
loved to see Sumad. I would have loved to see a building designed like a giant steel pan, just like how they
Oh,
have that Hard Rock in Fort Lauderdale
yeah,
guitar.
you know, a lot of, yeah,
Why
hard
can't we
rock.
do that at a steel pan?
Bottom the guitar, I don't know if you see the guitar hotel, the next link to the hard rock. And
Yeah, yeah,
Griffin Road there.
yeah, correct.
Yeah, it all lighted up in the night like a guitar, and it's, the lights change colors and so on. No, it's that that to me when I sit down in my porch, I like even look at the how it changes in the
Yeah,
night.
yeah,
It gets a nice
beautiful.
reflection, colorful, all lights, different colors. I mean, it shape of a guitar and these things.
Well,
So, but we could even we could think build things like turtles because that turtle watching community.
yeah, yeah.
You know,
But you know,
and
Sumant, you mentioned something very, 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 very important. And again, we have some great projects we're proposing here. But we have to step back a little bit, and also at the same time as we're moving forward, we have to address certain ills in our society. For example, the crime, right? We don't want to have tourists interacting, with the criminal elements rampant, in some areas, being robbed and stuff. A couple months ago, a cruise ship brought in some tourists, and someone was walking. I think a couple was walking down in Port of Spain in Independence Square,
yeah, two
and a
weeks
guy just
ago.
grabbed the gold chain from the woman neck, right?
2 weeks ago, that was the same situation happening in Maraval.
Listen to me. We had a situation where an invasion took place next to the prime minister's house.
Yeah,
I saw
yeah,
that.
last week,
Okay, so
this week,
um,
sorry, this week, sorry,
this
Monday.
Trinidad and Tobago police force has to be dealt with as far as the administration of it. All right. So I don't see. I mean, I see people defending officers, but at the same time, we have good officers, and we need to hear about how you plan to treat with the officers that are corrupt and in mixed up in criminal activities and the criminals also. So we need the management of the police force dealt with because far too much we have situations here too many times where police is involved in the criminals in criminal activity, whether it's kidnapping, drug trafficking. So these things, the police force management has to deal with what's within their group there, within their with their colleagues there. We cannot afford to keep rotten apples in the bag. Sorry, police must be police and criminal must be criminal. You can't be both. Take a choice.
Yeah. So Gary, to add to that, maybe we should propose something like the internal affairs that we have here in the US,
I
right?
made that suggestion initially since from about 2007 to 2010 I was pushing that idea, but apparently some people had their own agenda. Somebody's mic is, if you're not talking, can I mute your mic? Yeah, so so I did make that recommendation and we could recommend it again, but I think we need some assistance from outside the country because we can't have those or who are involved in the country there, covering up for their bodies and things like that. I don't have that much confidence in the current police force investigating themselves.
So those of us who
So
are following what's going on, which I think is all of you, and perhaps other people in Trinidad and Tobago who are following what's going on, I was wondering what Geraldine John was doing because I know she is a deep thinker and I know she has done great things in the past. So I was wondering why she was so quiet for so long. I hope she wasn't disgruntled with anything within the party because, as you know, the UNC might be good at 5 years, but 5 years later I may not be able to hold it on. So we'll talk about it at another time. So here are some of the issues I am looking at. So I saw what Gary just showed us here just now, and this is a beautiful presentation of a picture to come, or a reality to come, I should say, from a picture that we are seeing.
Mm-hmm.
It was well laid out and well designed, and this is not new to all over the world because many of those Gulf states, the small ones like Abu Dhabi and so on, experiment with these kinds of things, and they get the Chinese to help them. And even in Singapore, they do some things like these. And that is working pretty good for them. And again, a lot of tourists go to see, like some of you mentioned, tourism and all that. And that's a huge assumption, because I would ask you first of all to think about what are the assumptions they're using for this magnanimous operations that they are planning to go ahead. And I like when she says that we have already tendering for it's not like the PNM who would have all these grandiose, or not in PNM, other people in Trinidad who have all the grandiose plan and that they never get off the ground. I was happy to hear her said that they're already tendering for some of these things. That things are in motion. That is what I want to hear. I don't want to have a beautiful plan and show me a nice picture, and I could look at that picture that you have. Oh, why live in dreamland? Oh, good, keep on dreaming, brother, because that's a dream.
Yeah,
However,
right.
when I hear start tendering, I said that's not a dream anymore. So I felt good about that part.
Yes,
Number two.
Dr.
Number
Morris,
two.
Imam just
Hold on, no, go. Sorry, take on the. Sorry,
Go ahead.
Hold on a little bit. Go ahead. Sorry, because I want to continue. Go ahead.
No, they started the Mayaro to San Fernando.
I come into that now. Right, exactly what I'm going to say now. So I was always looked around and thought that Maracas was never my favorite spot, even though I lived most of my life in Arima. I never liked it very much. I find it crowded and cluster, and to get there is uphill, downhill, and one road stuff and all that. So my favorite spot has always been from a little kid, Mayaro.
Talk to me. Mine too. Same thing.
When we had scout camp, the scout is to go there and camp for a whole 2 weeks in this. Every summer we go down there to camp.
Correct. Same with me, Dr. Morris.
Fishing and hunting and all things that boys will do. So even after this, they are also, when I saw she's showing us this beautiful highway, which is not, she's not the only one to show us things like that. But apparently, because of what she's saying today, that might be off the ground this time around. Because it will be so nice for you to take your tourists, wherever they might be staying. If you have you could get there in half an hour, 45 minutes. Even from Port of Spain, you could get there an hour. Because I was, the last time I went to Trinidad and I was coming from Mayaro, they lived there about nearly dusk dark in the night. And I reached San Fernando. I thought I had arrived in, well, I forget, the road was so terrible. I thought I was in Baltimore from New York because it took me so damn long. Shit. I said, where are we now? We ain't reached yet. No, we still somewhere in Bucket, whatever they call Bucket Corner. I said,
Yeah,
what the hell is this? When we gonna reach tomorrow? Why you all live here? It's okay. So so those are the kind of infrastructural development. Because if they really want people to come to Trinidad, they have a lot of kids want to come on the holidays and they want to surf. I mean, Miami, we can't go Miami, and Miami have places only you could go and do that. So why do I want to go Miami? I'm living in Texas. I want to go to somewhere in the Caribbean. I heard they're nice. Trinidad is a nice place. So they want to go. The kids come with a surfboard, and Mayaro is one of the only places you could really surf. I mean, you could do some of it in Maracas, but not very much. I mean, you go to Macarip. Macarip, after 10 feet inside, you drown in yourself because there's no beach in Macarip. So that is why the white folks, they build up something in Macarip and way back in colonial times. But they go to Maracas because that's for them. They didn't know about Mayaro and they wouldn't go that far. You couldn't get there anyway in those days. So the PNM took over and they continued the colonial thing about developing that side of the country and never look at the real side where you could make the money. So that is point number two, that this government is actually looking at Trinidad and Tobago and trying to get us somewhere because we haven't gotten anywhere yet. The previous government who was in charge, I don't believe in government could do many things. Like I told you already, they can't do anything anyway. Government are very lazy and they're not productive and blah, blah, blah. But if you listen to what this UNC is saying, we are doing this in partnership with private enterprise. Now you're talking to me because you know you couldn't do it alone, forget that. So now you're getting the private enterprise foot to chew. I say, okay, these fellas are coming here to make money and make profit. You'll get something done. And the way some of them are talking, like they really want to get in the piece of the pie, because they're seeing profit in front of them, they're seeing money. And there's some of you talk just now about jobs being created. Let me tell you something. If I go to do a construction work in Trinidad, I want to carry my own workers because they are unproductive people. So we could find a way of getting around that. Because I see that I'm saying this because the opposition is in the waiting to attack everything that you said. Because what are the assumptions the UNC is using? They are using an assumption that we have productive workers, number one. Number two, that the society is prepared to move into Port of Spain and to occupy some floor up front where they have buildings now, where the people, you know the people I'm talking about, they already said they ain't going to place. So you could have whatever waterfront, nothing in there for us. So you'll see. So the assumption they're using is that the society is going to welcome whatever the UNC is doing. That is fine, but prepare for that part of it. The third point I want to talk about also is the San Fernando development. As you know, San Fernando is a hilly area. It's down a hill. And they want to develop like the waterfront, so that's a flat area. But San Fernando is not an ideal place to really have. I mean, like the other flat areas and things about much better. San Fernando hilly, so they could deal with that. I'm raising that because all that glitter is not gold, so we got to be careful with that. But I like the fact that they're trying to get somewhere, and the only way you can get it, they have to raise the cash. So I hope they know where the cash is coming from, and that could come because once the profit motive is there, the cash will come. Once there's business people will see. Once they see there's lucrative things to come, they will go after it. They will come. They will invest their money. They will join government. Because government is a partnership. They have lots of things to get when they join with the government. So they'll be doing that, but they have to be productive enough. So we already saw what they did in Tobago. Tobago is so happy that the MP for Tobago says that we set for 5 years. That means 5 years they're going to build. The next 5 years we'll carry it through. So he's talking about 10 years, which is my point. That the UNC cannot be their government for 5 years to get all of these things done. It's the first 10 years and then another 10 after that. So this is all in line with the things we've been talking for the past 6 months. We're talking on this program for 5-6 months.
You mean 10 to the power of 10, not just 10 years. 10 to the power of 10, maybe.
Yeah, I know. I know what you mean. But by that, people are saying the things that we are saying here. That 5 years will never, because here's going to happen, and we said we're trying to avoid that at all costs.
Yeah, but you see, in this first 5 years, I want us to show the people why they should never vote anything else.
Right. So and making sure the continuity will. So you do 5, but you still have 20 more things to do. So you have a lot of things hang over, and that is why the long-term project with Geraldine John and the other people are putting, because this is really a 10-year project. So they have to, and when you leave it, the PNM is going to scrap it anyway. So you cannot give it back to them. And no matter who might be replacing them, we cannot give it back to them. So the assumptions that we are using, they are using assumptions as though some of you talk about it just now about crime. They're assuming that crime will be close to zero, and therefore somebody walking on Port of Spain or Lara Promenade would not snatch a chain of the neck. That is so embarrassing. But that happen, you come on a holiday and they choke and rob you. So the assumption they are using is that society will willingly accepting what the government is doing, and secondly, that things like those drawbacks, those serious drawbacks, like crime and roads and bridges and all those things, and then the rain will fall and wash away something, and you take to 1 year. This is not the UNC. The UNC must now assume that if a bridge washes away in 7 days' time, that bridge should be back up. A temporary bridge should be back up.
Nice.
And they could do it, and because the way they're moving, they can do it. But they have to have. I see they're hiring 100 people, 100,000 or much. Those people have to train them well to be productivity first, production first, money after. Money will come once you produce. Money will come. Forget the money. The money will come automatically. So you have to reorient.
It all has to do with management and supervision.
50 or 60% of the Trinidad people already prepared for this. Is that other 30 or 40% will be a problem, and they could make real problem for you. Read so much so that you get nothing done. When it's at a march up and down, east, west, north, and south, you couldn't get nothing done. And you more you arrest them, it's more you're gonna find a problem. So in the background, you have to have prepared for the risk involved in what you're doing. all in all, this song's a nice pipe dream. It is great, but like I didn't call it a dream when I heard she says we're already tendering for it. So in other words, they're asking people to come in to tender to do X, Y, and Z. So then I said, this is not a talk shop. This is not really a make feel good, feel happy, and go home. Let me just make this last point, and this is one thing I had to tell you about also. We talked about this before, but we never said it in this way. These people are talking about CARICOM and CARICOM and CARICOM. I noticed that even some of the people on the other side, calling them our brothers and sisters in CARICOM, they have always been our cousins. Our brothers and sisters in Tobago and Trinidad, these are brothers and sisters. The cousins are in the Caribbean, so they better get the what you call it, the sibling right, because they have it all wrong. Because I know why they're saying this, because they're from the same ship on the same trip, and that crap wasn't going to work. You have to understand this, and this is what the point we make before about Trinidad has to come out by themselves and lead the show. And and they must help Trinidad to lift themselves, because a rising boat lift all boats. You heard that fable already. So if Trinidad could progress, higher you go, is it better for everybody else in the Caribbean? Because when Trinidad was really doing good, everybody was happy for Trinidad, because Trinidad was running the bread for them, and they were doing a lot of stuff, and they still depend on Trinidad to some extent, although to a lesser extent. So you talk about they talk about zone of peace, and they say Trinidad, Caribbean is a zone of peace. How much damn ship they have who is going to enforce the zone of peace? How much soldiers they have? Where's the Western Federation? Jamaica mashed it up, and Trinidad didn't know better. Under those Mali government, whoever government, PNC in Jamaica and PNM in Trinidad, they mash up the damn thing. They could have a battleship out there now enforcing their own zone. What the hell? They have nothing. They have a sailboat. They have the work. They could defend nothing. They could enforce what peace they want to enforce. Who will enforce the zone of peace? How much ships they have? How many soldiers they have out there? The Caribbean have any battleship? None. They have nothing. But they want to enforce a zone of peace. All talk and crap talk.
What zone of peace? They are part of the problem. Those politicians are part of the problem. They've been part of the problem.
So if Trinidad would rise, they should be happy, and should help Trinidad to rise. And if Trinidad rise, we're going to take all you up with us. And that is it. Forget this CARICOM back to mediocrity. We're not going back to no CARICOM from the mediocrity. We are moving up, and we're pulling us with you. So push us up, and we'll bring you with us. Well, that is the new model. Forget everything you didn't consult the CARICOM brothers and sisters. Crap talk. That is bush talk. That's kumbaya talk from the riverside. This is real thing. This is a real war we're talking about. And the government already said that Trinidad is a safer place now that they're stopping all these things that are coming out from countries like whoever country they're coming from. They're loading up the sentinels, fentanyls, and all those crap that people engage in. So Trinidad is a safer place because of all of this. So I don't understand what the problem is, and I don't like America a whole lot. I even know I live there, but at the same time, I think America is onto something, and Trinidad make the right choice.
Whatever they're doing, it works for us right now.
Right.
I mean, right. I disagree with other things in other places, but what is being done for us, is highly appreciated, highly supported, absolutely necessary, and in fact, we should encourage a naval base there to train our Coast Guard. And because we need a lot of training, we could not handle a simple thing as the diver situation there with the Paria divers. We were unprepared, unequipped, and so many things, that we caused 4 men to lose their lives, and was in the water in that pipeline for 36 hours. That was more than enough time to rescue them. What did we do? Absolutely nothing. All right, so they can't talk for us. Our Prime Minister is on track. She's doing the right thing. She has our support.
Yeah. So this model that they have for the blueprint, that is a blueprint, and every blueprint is only a print. It's not really realities. But if you could achieve in the first 5 years even half of those things, you'll be great. That'll be good enough for us.
Well, the engineer here knows that the blueprint is the first step in the direction, right? And then we build from the blueprint.
So, yeah, but it works like
if we have the blueprint, then we in business. If we don't have a blueprint and we just have a little scratch on the paper, that's something. But the blueprint is actual specifications of how everything is going to be done, how much material, everything. Everything is laid out in the blueprint.
See, because remember why they're doing all of this, they still have some of you talk about this in a show all the time. Talk about the infrastructure development that you need to build this and build that and build the other.
Ken, I think
Because
your mic muted.
yeah, because
Ken.
Trinidad still have all this infrastructural problem, and some of you mentioned them time and time again on the same chat all over your center. I mean, I understand.
Well,
But they have
Well,
to do all of these things.
giving
Plus, they also
giving
have
the
to do
right people a
maintenance work.
chance, we can fix it. We, Ken
So
has quite a bit of ideas.
I don't know
well,
if
you know, the,
I
the
don't know
road
if feel
has,
sorry if they feel sorry for the UNC or glad for them or what. Because this task that they have to perform is really beyond the ordinary. This is gigantuan. This is gigantic. This is not
well,
simple. But
what,
if they have the will, they will get the way. Some poetic justice. If they have the will, they will get the way. And let me make this last point. Because I said this. We want to keep all of you when you discuss these things. Keep in mind that if the UNC don't stay together, none of these things could happen. So while we're saying all these grandiose things, as people who want to see betterment, have to keep in mind that these people, and we have to help them whatever we can do to make it sure that they hold this team together. Because if the team doesn't hold, that is the end of the story. All this grandiose, beautiful, pie in the sky, nice things. If you don't hold it together, and our people have a history of not holding it together, I hope that they will learn from those mistakes and do better going forward. That this won't happen again.
I think the team is more solid than before. Anyway,
Right.
Ken, go ahead.
Right.
yeah, Mr. Maharaj makes some good points there. But look, we have the rendering, the Prime Minister, the launch, and they went public with the renderings and that captured all of the ambitious plans, and it covered almost every single thing, every single aspect of who we are as
Yeah,
Trinidadians,
correct,
right?
correct.
And how we could take this country to the next level. This is what it's about, you know. And I think it captured everything there. That is a very ambitious plan. It is a realistic plan, and the duration, obviously, it will take 5, 10 years, and we could do it in phases. Sumad mentioned, tackle the smaller projects that is achievable within the 5 years. So that is also a big plus. But at the same time, we have to focus on the problems that we're dealing with also. For example, the crime, right? A tourist or someone don't want to come out from a cruise ship, walking about 300 or 400 yards into Brian Lara promenade there and experience something traumatic where they're robbed, beaten, or something to that effect, right? So we have to deal with some of these issues. And also, we must definitely focus on the infrastructure. As we look at development as a whole, we have to develop and upgrade our infrastructure. We have to also focus on the flooding in Port of Spain and other
Mhm.
places. Um, and then I believe that once we have a good, well-seasoned team, right? And Gary's mentioned that we have a great team here. Everyone is working and firing on all 8 cylinders. I definitely think that this is achievable. When 5 years, we could definitely earmark some projects with a 5 year duration and say, hey, we are going to achieve this within this 5 years, and then within the next 5 years, we will turn the key for those projects.
If
Yeah,
if we
yeah.
if we get the collaboration, if our team gets the collaboration, the government will succeed greatly.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Go ahead,
If
Suman.
we could do 5 projects completed, especially the Mayaro Sando Highway and the San Fernando Development Plan, because I'll tell you why. You see, this San Fernando West remains a marginal seat, regardless of what. I mean, Dr. Dalot did a tremendous job, along with Sadiq Baksh to win that seat. You want to cement that situation and put it doing the San Fernando waterfront project, you will be able to gain
Well,
consolidation at that seat. Right to
we
start.
want to give San Fernando East the reason why they should vote for UNC in the next
Correct.
election.
So you're winning both Sando East and you cementing Sando
By
West
the
as
time
a
the next election comes around,
that's
we must be really cracking. You know what I mean? Because we have shown the country what we walk the talk. You
the
know,
walk the talk.
and we gave the country more than they thought they would have gotten
And
based on how we manage things.
Gary, you know when you have a network of roads and highways and so on, development automatically takes place. Eh? So
Yeah,
it's
well, you know,
maybe not
like I was talking with Ken, right? That causeway, I think, before you join, has to be something like how the FTR runs along from South Street down by the port and go around all the way to the George Washington Bridge. So
right.
that ramp has to wrap around San Fernando. But we're talking about walking from Petersfield going to Port of Spain all the way to where the water park is there.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so you have easy access, and then you link to the Beatum, right? You wrap around to the Beatum, you have access to City Gate, and I forgot the name of the street high up, we go up to Maraval Road there by the zoo. I forgot the name of that road, but anyway, I think it's Valley Road or something like that. Anyway, you know, so you create a few exits, but the exits, like I've spoken before, has to wrap around and don't create congestion. You know, like
Right.
I was discussing with Ken before. So when you come up the exit, you don't come to a stop, you wrap around and the traffic flows.
Wrap around.
Yeah,
Yes.
go
Yes.
ahead, Ken.
So yeah, so Gary, we're talking about transportation engineering there, and there's something called the level of service. So the level of service for that causeway, for that road infrastructure there, should be A, right? And in transportation, the LOS, so level of service, we have from A to F. A being the best, and F being the worst. So I believe also we need to evaluate and do the traffic studies for some of our existing infrastructure and see what are the ratings and what we want to improve it to, right? But that cause will definitely impact the traffic and would really alleviate all of the congestion and even commuter time from from San Fernando or from Central to Port of Spain. That
So
should
now,
only be 15 minutes.
right. So the traffic that coming from the east, right, from Arima and stuff like that into Port of Spain should not entangle with the traffic come from the north, from the south, and goes right up the ramp. So we split up that traffic. You don't have to go through the BTM to get to Port of Spain. You go straight into Port of Spain without passing through the BTM and you're going straight in it. The only way you're going BTM is if you need to really go in that area. But what I'm saying to you,
Correct.
with the causeway, you're going straight into Port of Spain, and by the waterfront there, you have city gate access, you know, and then so then the east west corridor comes down and you don't interact with the north south traffic. You know what I mean?
Definitely, definitely. And this will be be designed based on the stipulated new design capacity, right? And what I mean by that is that right now our roads, the capacity has outgrown our existing infrastructure, and it's crying for an upgrade. I mean, to say I've heard stories of where people from South Trinidad, little south of San Fernando, they have to leave home 3 o'clock, 3:30 in the morning to get to Port of Spain, right?
Ridiculous.
It,
I mean,
Ridiculous.
I could
That has
jump on
to
a
stop.
plane.
We
I could jump
have
on a
to.
plane and head to Miami.
Right.
but
You know,
yeah, but
we have to cut that out, you know, where we have the decentralized government offices. And I mean, you know, Central
Correct.
has to get built up with government offices, San Fernando, and then the people in Mayaro, we have to build something on that side there also, you know what I mean? So that you don't have to get up 3 o'clock in the morning, take 5 taxis to get where you're going.
and spend
Definitely.
7 hours for the day going and coming. That's what Minister Tanko was talking about. Even price about here. He says 3.5 hours it takes him to reach into Port of Spain. And
I know
three and
one
a half
person had to get up 3:30 in the morning to leave their house to go renew their passport because they couldn't get a place in the regular area and go all the way to Sandy Grande. I mean, you know, this is high class nonsense.
and I tried to renew mine and said there's no office in San Fernando. Check that the second city don't have a passport office. That is BS, man. A lot of
So,
BS.
so the level of service for some of the roads are probably close to an F or E, right? I mean,
No,
based on
look,
what I'm hearing here.
P&M drain our economy, and they show us nothing for it. Okay.
But all in all, this was an excellent plan. I mean, it's a pathway to development, and I see this as something positive. As to how much they can deliver in the 5 years or the 4.5 years now, that leaves a lot to be desired. But I think, and as I mentioned, pick about 4 or 5 more, if the most important projects, and run with it, especially the one where you already got approvals, EMA and IMA approvals and so on, because you get a CEC clearance, which is, the environmental clearance. It takes about 2 years. Takes about 2 years,
Yeah, the
because that
process could be
clearance only
lengthy.
to start a pre-feasibility study. And once by Miss John saying that they go out for e-tendering, that means they have already gotten the prerequisite clearances. So that's good. And they have to put the people inside it to make sure they fast track some of these things, man, because you know it's they can delay. You know how they go operate in the ministries, how they delay things and so on. But that is why I would like to see that
But
special
so man,
committee.
we have a plan. We have a plan to deal with those delays too, right? So we've
But
been
I hope
talking about
that.
it. So all we need is the collaboration of the government, and then the plan will will be executed.
But Gary, you have to know our history told us what happened in '86, what happened in '95, what happened in
What
2010.
that should tell you what you have to do, right?
Yes, it tells me what you have to do, and
Okay.
but I'm not seeing that happening.
Well, until you get more up and close information, let's see what happens. But you already know how you're going to handle that should you get the opportunity, right? So
Yes,
so like I said, we intend to raise the bridge, dredge the river, build over the
yeah, no,
mountain, but
we
bore a tunnel to the mountain. But we going. So
guys, that's correct.
let them get that very clear in their head that the prime minister is not backing down, and we are here to support her.
That's right, correct.
Definitely.
But having been there with these PSs, boy, I tell you, it's pulling teeth.
Well, if it's up to me, those PSs will have to run to the hills.
I That's what I recommended from day one. Remember, fire all these PSs and bring in your own team to run the
And when
damn
they
show.
reach the hill, they will have to jump off.
No, you ought to do is keep all their gratuity and pension for breaching the laws under P&M. You could get rid of them. All of
Yeah,
them breach the
because
laws.
we know they intend to show us, and as far as I'm concerned, we should show them.
That's now we talking. Now we talking. We should be the ones who is dictating and telling you, hey, do it like this. This is what you have to do. What is the kickback? You know, when I did the laptop project is 3 months, I don't want to call names, but it was deliberately held back. Now, this is the Prime Minister's pet project, the student laptop project. Dr. Gopi Singh is so fed up, he's like lost. How then he say, someone come and help him. Yeah, I wanted to be in charge, take it over from the ministry. I don't know what to do. Boy, I work day and night to bring back the project online and deliver the project on time and save the government 30 million and the process from the previous year, whoever did it. And on top of that, they use my thing as a blueprint, as a model to sell now to the other islands. So Lucia, we need everybody want to do this laptop project because Kamala got a lot of publicity from the UN, United Nations, and so on. They recognize her as one of the first countries in the Western Hemisphere to further education for the people and so on. So everybody wanted out the student laptop project. Even Chile wanted that model, which I did for the ministry. And that is against serious pushback. You know. So, these things, the permanent secretaries they are the head of the accounting unit of every ministry. They can stop projects for a reason or no reason at all. This is the kind of crowd they have. and we have to sidetrack them or get them out of the way and so on. Well, if you want to
Sidetrack.
implement
We
that,
had to climb over their head. That's what we have to do.
you know, and it's a way, it's a process. We have to get it done. We have to bypass, sidetrack, spend, get some committees or something to have access to funds. So they can't delay your implementation process. They don't, you see, these people fail to realize when you're implementing a project, you can't afford to waste time.
So man,
And
so
this is
what,
what
Yeah.
so what's the key back? What's the real key back? Because I think what this people in Trinidad is saying that they promised since when and they're not delivering and blah 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 blah. I'm sure they have a
that
good
is the
reason. What's the
now
reason?
now that's a good question, Doc. But that only happens when another government other than the PNM is in place because the same PSs turn their eyes the other side.
But not only that, we have to take into consideration they drain the treasury, right? And the budget allocated to government was based on the previous government. So now that we are sorting out our budget, we think we should move forward as soon as everything is approved and allocated. I think it'll take a couple of weeks after the approval. You guys will know better than me how long it takes for the money to get into the system as the approval comes by. And now they are trying, and they're sorting out the 10% thing. The Minister of Finance is meeting
Yes, yes, yes.
with the PSA and various organizations there to sort out how they're going to do that transition. So I mean, everything is being sorted out, and you will see within. I
Yeah,
mean,
yeah. We understand all of that, but if I on the other side and you told me in September, we know in November, was the problem, Mr. BUNC? Well, you promised so much and can't deliver now. You don't
well,
want to be told you that.
September, October was budget. So how can they be told September? I'm just saying.
Yeah,
Oh,
October is the budget really. It's still, normally they start to release funds in Trinidad at the beginning of a quarter. In Tobago, it's the same, and the PM has promised that each
But if you know who is making the most noise is the people affiliated with the party that bankrupt the country.
correct, they're the
But
ones.
they're not holding their party accountable. They want
No,
to
no, no,
step on
no.
you. All
They
right.
hold they hold in Maduro. They is a Maduro regime, because we all know that the whole funding was of the PNM was all mostly drug money. I mean, cut it how you decide to cut it.
Well, nobody knows what Delcy brought across the country. Nobody
Yeah,
knows.
yeah. The big financiers and so on. Why you think they had no
I
security on the
mean,
finish? I
we
mean,
don't know what Delcy brought and left in T&T.
but what about the other boats coming in the night? What are they bringing? And
Well,
there's
open
no
borders. We had open
and no
borders and all the vessel pack up.
and no coast guard to supervise.
right. So to continue let me just ask you one more thing, so So I guess if they, let's say they bring in 10,000, 15,000 laptops in the schools, and these things are going to go bad, they will have to service them. We will this, the next. Are we
Yeah,
developing a capability to repair these things in Trinidad
yes,
and
yes.
all?
They're going to buy the supplier, like
Yeah.
whoever supplies, they're bound by a 3-year contract to service any broken laptop or malfunctioning laptop. In 1 year, when I was there in 2011, 2012, there's only 6 computers gave trouble out of the whole 20,000 that was purchased. So that's an excellent
Because
rate. You're bound to.
my thinking is that if there any way we could get a piece of the pie, like having some kind of software development in the country to that Dell or whoever
Well,
might be able to do
that is,
open some kind
that
of
is a
plant or something down there.
yes, yes, yes. That is the way it should evolve. I like to see some students write apps and so on as they do in other parts of the world. Write
Right.
their own education apps and financial apps and what have you. But the thing is, at that level of learning, you want to teach them basic things. You have to use Microsoft Word, Microsoft Excel, Microsoft Database, Access Database, and so on. So you want to teach them the basic things of what the computer can do. Now, when they go up to Form 5, lower six and upper six and so on. Then you could use what you have learned before now and become more creative in what you're supposed to develop. That's
Yeah, because
creativity
they could
is
write
what you want to.
they could do their own programming and write their own app in the West
So man,
Indies.
what are they using for programming nowadays?
They started an AI sensitization for this year, coming up September, October this year. But they had to start doing it with teachers, so they just
No, but
pretty much.
what are they using to write applications? What are they using?
No, they're not writing applications. This is all embedded in the software that they're using. So they're not,
So they're using or something that's pre-designed. But I'm talking about creating from scratch. What are they using? And back in the day, they used to use C++ and C and all
yeah,
that
but
thing.
C++,
But
yeah.
nowadays you see C4. The most dominant right now is Python because it's a English translatable language and it's easy. You can kind of read along. You don't have to reinvent the wheel. And Python has what they call libraries. So I have a library for maths. I have a library for coding. I have a library for science. I have a library for database. So Python, that is the easiest language to learn. In most of AI uses Python right now.
You
So
see,
that is what the focus
yeah,
should
you
be.
see, because my line of thinking is continues in this way that there are, if for the West Indies like Trinidad could be also writing apps and software development,
That's the goal. That's the goal. That's the goal, Dr.
because
Mars. And
the University
one
of the West Indies wasting a lot of time doing all kind of stupid things when they could be doing something else. And perhaps those guys in India, they have excess engineers who can come to the West Indies and help you all on a 6 months contract and even more to do
well,
some of these things, because they're doing those things in India as we speak.
yes, and I propose that for us to use the DB campus to use, students who have written the A levels and so on, to have that batch of students, the brighter ones from the Southlands, so to speak, the colleges, the NAPS boys, NAPS girls, Shiva boys, Shiva girls, Parvati girls, IRE, the Presbyterian schools, all those are up to Shavonas and South. You have an avenue, and we're bringing some of these Indian professors to teach these guys in a whole new concept. You know what? In 5 years' time, we'll be having enough AI graduates in Trinidad to run the damn country and run any government office and projects and so on. You leave the rest of the country behind. In 5 years' time, only 5 years you need,
Because the West Indies, that is what we need CARICOM for, to sell things to them, to
Yeah,
develop things and sell to them.
You
That's what
see,
we need them for.
CARICOM is a waste of time. Let me tell you what. None of these CARICOM countries took Venezuela. The only Trinidad had to bear the brunt. We took the brunt of that because so they don't have that problem.
no,
We
no,
had to suffer for that.
CARICOM is good at supplying PNM with voters. That's what they're good
That's
at.
correct. That's
Yeah,
correct.
yeah.
That's correct. And this by not
Let's get real now. Let's get real. All right.
yeah, and that's by opening up the borders and now patrolling and so on. It's allowed that 1% to have a free reign on things, and they were the ones who support the PNM. So there was no incentive to close the no borders or to track anything. It was in their best interest to shut down the Coast Guard and tell us we do have diesel for it for 5 years or
And,
10 years, as the case may be.
and
So
Samar, I believe,
so Gary,
sorry,
it never occurred to you, must have occurred to not you, all of you, and other people in Trinidad. I noticed that they're finding not all the time, but sometimes they're finding big cache of firearms somewhere buried on somewhere, and so with hundreds of rounds of ammunition, and they just all of the finding is the weapons and the ammunition, but who is behind it? They're not finding them. It doesn't that
That's
ring a
right.
bell? Doesn't that sound fishy?
Yes,
Oh yeah, you're clapping. They're clapping that there's so much guns that take over the street. But somebody put the damn gun there. I'm more interested in the guy who put the gun there than the gun itself.
right. And
So
those are
they're
the people.
celebrating the wrong way.
Correct. You're right, Dr. Maraz. But when that elite class is the one who is bringing it in, who and they're the ones who
Of
back in
course.
the party.
Yeah.
What can you
That's
do?
why. That's why. That's the reason why they can't find them. They're
I
in the
know
party,
that.
right? The minister himself doing
You
that.
all know that. You all know that.
And that's why we need really seriously we need to consider proposing building a U.S. naval base somewhere in South Trinidad to assist us also in that continuous fight against drugs. Because if tomorrow the U.S. was to pull out their warships and so forth, this thing going to start back again,
Back
right?
again,
So we
right
need
back
we
again.
need a permanent presence in Trinidad.
But
Yes.
not only that, I see what I was suggesting is to create a naval training academy for the Coast Guard. So we just don't come and go. The U.S. remains engaged. We had a base there, and the bacchanal about Yankee go home back in the 70s, right?
Hmm.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
because some people got to have their way, but you know what I'm saying to you? I'm proposing a naval training academy to train our Coast Guard. We need a lot of training, and a lot of things we will discuss off here.
Yes.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
very
So that was the
important.
point, Gary. That was the point a while ago.
That
You
is
want to have a zone of peace, but before you can have peace, you have to have the war to have the peace. But you have to have the war first and then the peace, because you cannot have this. So how do you enforce a
How do
zone
you
of peace?
get peace? Is to destroy the enemy. That's how you
Yeah,
get peace.
that's right. So how do you get peace? You're not there yet. They're still in war. You want to get the peace without a war. So you know what I think about all of them? They're very sympathetic to the criminal element in the Caribbean and elsewhere, because a lot of them are their friends and family and relatives, or whatever religion or race or creed or whatever is their favorite.
Mhm.
That is why they're not done. And see, and that is the part I cannot take. They're so dishonest with themselves, and that they want everybody to believe their lies. And that is why I'm telling you about the gun. You could find the gun, but you can't find the people who put it there. Is something wrong with that? So the same way they will talk about zone of peace. You can't have zone of peace when some drugs passing through your ocean. That cannot be a zone of peace. What kind of peace? You know why? Because you're making excuses for the criminal element in society to damage people in Trinidad, especially. So you have no sympathy for Trinidadians. You have more sympathy for the criminals. The same thing the other side is doing in Trinidad. They feel, you ever hear anything? Oh, I'm so sorry for those victims. The 8 of them get robbed in their house and they almost get killed and blah blah. No, they worry about the police shoot. Oh no, no, no. Oh no, what's the body cam? They're looking for body cam. Just like they're looking for the gun, but they're looking for the phone. They're looking for body cam. They're looking for the victim, who got 5 of them get raped and killed in the house. Half killed and half died. No, they're looking for the body cam. Where's the body cam? You hear somebody get killed. Oh, they kill the criminal, poor criminal. Where's the body cam? Body cam. They're looking for the body cam. So these are the things that gets me up my sleeve with those kinds of behavior. But as I'm telling you, what kind of assumptions they're using for this grandiose plan that they have, because it's on paper, and we want to get it out of the ground, which I think they say they are doing, and songs are they're serious, and the UNC is not like the PNM, so that is very good also. So we wish them well, and I think whatever we could talk or do, or whatever help we can give, we are ready to stand. We are doing that, whatever they want us to do. But we want to wish them well, and we'll also give them ideas, because all these things we are saying, you don't hear this thing in the press in Trinidad. These things we are saying here, you don't hear it there. What are the assumptions you are using to enforce? No, they're just the ABCD, and they're going on the normal road. What about to manage the risks as they go along? There are some things to be on the lookout for. Don't wait for it to happen, to anticipate it. Anticipate it before it happens.
Yeah.
Go ahead, guys. I think I said enough for tonight. Good night.
Yeah, I think the social risk and how best we manage the social risk
Right.
is also important in this whole exercise that we developed, because people are going to complain sooner or
Right.
later that
Right.
they're not getting a
Right.
piece of the action.
Yeah. All them foreigners coming and taking everything. The UNC is
Yeah,
only for big people. They understand.
yeah.
Yeah, they are the one, their government who give them shaft all along, they will take it. And they will tell you we like it so, but you don't do it to me that way because you wouldn't get away with it. The PNM will get away, not you.
That's right.
So
So managing,
they like it
manage,
so. Mhm.
managing the social risk is just as important as the whole cycle of development, because these people, anytime they can, you know, please discontent and this thing, hiring processes, and only certain ethnic people are getting the big jobs, blah, blah, what the traditional things, and even though you're trying to make the best of
Yeah,
themselves.
because we are hiring according to competency and qualification, not
Yeah,
according to race or party or
correct,
religious organization or whatever
correct.
your category. We are hiring according to the competency to
Competency,
get
and
the job done and your qualification.
yes,
All
and
right, we don't care about race and what color you look like. We care about how you can get the job done.
That's correct. That's correct.
and
You know, and it's
we,
important because if you're sitting in a plane, you don't want to know that you have a DNI hire there, and because you hire a man because of his race or color or religion or something, the man can't fly the plane, right? So you need to hire people who are competent, who are well seasoned, well experienced, to get the job done. And once we adopt that mindset moving forward, I think we would definitely be ahead of the curve. You know,
you
Well,
was
let me
just
tell you something. Investors is not going to invest for the sake of it. They're going to invest for any return, right? So you can't complain if a man put a certain amount of money into the government and he wants a return. He's going to get the bulk of the
correct,
share, you know?
correct.
But all in all, Gary, I think I saw the entire redevelopment plan. It's a good start. I think if they can do about five or so over this 4.5 years, or let's say 3.5 years, because as we say in the fourth, fifth year, you can't get nothing done. So you still have a sound level of acceptability among the population that, hey, you know what, they did these major projects. Look, the Point 14 project, right? 5 years on the UNC and 10 years on the PNM, and it's still not complete.
You guys want to see the second half of the video?
I saw it. We can
All
discuss
right.
more about it Monday. I want to knock off in about 5 minutes.
Yeah, Monday.
Yeah,
Yeah,
and
we could pick it up on Monday, Gary.
All
yeah,
right,
and
yeah, all right. So Suman, yeah, okay then. So thank you very much, everyone. I want to say good night and thank you for taking the time. Ken, I deeply appreciate you coming in here to give us some enlightenment on the structural design, and we'll talk more about this going forward.
Always a pleasure, Mike. Always a pleasure, Gary.
All right, good night, everybody.
all
Good
right,
night.
Thanks,
guys.
and
Good
have a good
night.
night. Take
Good
care.
night.
Bye bye.
Take care,
Okay.
everybody. Can
Bye. Okay.
others.
Welcome to Trinidad and Tobago, our vibrant twin island nation, now emerging as a global logistical hub. We're unlocking new pathways, connecting us to the world, signaling that we are open for business. Today, we proudly unveil the revitalization blueprint designed to usher in a new era of opportunity. Join us now as we walk you through the key projects shaping this exciting new chapter. We begin our journey in the South capital, San Fernando, where transformation takes root and vision becomes reality. Node 1 ignites the revitalization blueprint with 39 catalytic projects, each one a bold step toward a thriving, reimagined Trinidad and Tobago. The key subnodes include Plaza San Carlos, the vibrant waterfront living district blending commercial and residential life, and the pioneering health city. Plaza San Carlos, a journey through time and taste. Step into the heart of heritage at Plaza San Carlos, a beautifully preserved historic market square that pulses with life. Now as the centerpiece of the reproposed historic district, Plaza San Carlos welcomes the arrival of the last train to San Fernando, a nostalgic tram that glides along the waterfront, offering visitors a scenic and symbolic ride through the soul of the city. This vibrant pedestrian haven is lined with charming colonnades and brims with local flavor, from cozy restaurants and artisanal food stalls to eclectic craft vendors and stylish boutiques. Plaza San Carlos, the soul of the South.
Yesterday I met with sweet Dorothy. She said tomorrow I'm joining in matrimony. And if you act
Nestled along the serene shoreline, the Waterfront Hotel offers a luxurious escape with breathtaking views, elegant accommodations, and world-class service. Whether you're here for business or leisure, it's the perfect blend of comfort and coastal charm. We honor our island's role as sanctuary to the majestic leatherback turtle. This cutting-edge convention center stands as a living tribute to global connections. The center welcomes international summits, corporate dialogues, and vibrant cultural exchanges, all under one roof.
I slide, and I may never be a bride. It is a BBDD.
Wake up to the aroma of breakfast favorites and vibrant local produce. The al fresco market is the place to be. From live performances under the stars to weekend yoga and family fun, this dynamic space is the heartbeat of entertainment and activity. Whether you're catching a concert or kicking back with friends, there's always something happening here. The redevelopment of San Fernando's waterfront marks a historic turning point for the city and the wider southern corridor. Transforming a neglected coastal town into southern Trinidad's civic heart, the project promises to catalyze growth in tourism, healthcare, and the cultural economy. This is a cultural and economic renaissance, one that finally grants San Fernando the grand maritime frontage it has long deserved.
Dorothy to dance. For on my mind I had nothing else but romance. I said to myself, boy, you better beat this iron.
Health City, spanning over 14 hectares, will serve as the cornerstone of a visionary precinct dedicated to health and wellness. Encompassing state-of-the-art hospitals, clinics, and medical research centers, it will foster high-skilled employment and attract patients from across the region. This strategic shift from a tourism-centric economy marks a vital step toward building a more resilient and diversified urban future. From San Fernando to Mayaro, the highway extension is forging a vital link to the southeast energy hub at Galeota. From there, we advance westward to Node 3 in Cedros, where upgrades to our Coast Guard facilities and the introduction of customs and immigration services will strengthen our southern gateway. Continuing northwest to Node 4, at Tetron, our Coast Guard headquarters, we complete the arc, from shoreline to open sea, fortifying Trinidad and Tobago's coastal border security. Revitalization Node 5, Port of Spain ascends. North Trinidad's capital city is stepping boldly into the future. As part of the revitalization blueprint, 38 projects will unfold across Port of Spain. Our North capital will showcase architectural excellence, a state-of-the-art multimodal hub, new port city and industrial estate, specialized health city, a waterfront worthy of a nation's pride. Every project is designed to honor our island's natural beauty while unlocking its potential. Port of Spain's waterfront will become a symbol of progress, pride, and possibility. The revitalized foreshore will unveil a new standard of coastal living, featuring premium waterfront residencies, sophisticated apartments offering panoramic sea views and seamless access to the city's vibrant edge. A dynamic retail promenade, a curated mix of boutiques, cafes, and culinary gems, thoughtfully arranged along a breezy boardwalk. A cultural and creative pulse, more than a destination, it's a living canvas of coastal charm, local flair, and everyday indulgence. Anchoring the waterfront skyline, this visionary development seamlessly integrates a global financial center with a state-of-the-art international convention center, creating a dynamic nexus for commerce and collaboration. Rising alongside our iconic hotel towers offering world-class hospitality, complemented by 2,000 luxurious waterfront residences that redefine urban living. With over 200 marina berths, the Invaders Bay Marina invites a vibrant maritime culture, positioning the destination as a premier hub for business and leisure. The Infinity 8 Towers. Embodying endless possibility, graceful balance, and the promise of renewal. Their name evokes the elegant arc traced by a hummingbird's wings, an eternal dance of motion and meaning, inspired by one of Trinidad and Tobago's most beloved creatures. Moving along the waterfront, we introduce you to our state-of-the-art convention center. Gracefully anchored on the breathtaking waterfront, our architecturally iconic, state-of-the-art convention center redefines Caribbean excellence, where visionary design converges with extraordinary experiences. A vibrant 4 to 5 stories. Green spaces and recreational parks and pedestrian-friendly streetscapes. A 30,000 square foot cruise terminal hosting 3 post-Panamax cruise ships. Designed to welcome over 1 million visitors annually. It redefines Trinidad and Tobago's gateway to the world. A new gateway for efficient, comfortable, and accessible transport. Connecting communities and harmonizing land, sea, and rail for fluid movement. Swift, radiant, and impossibly light, the hummingbird dances through the landscape, inviting passengers to greet each day with eyes wide to possibility. It is a symbol of hope in motion, a thread of joy woven into the nation's rhythm. The re-engineered port facility integrates dry docking and advanced warehousing infrastructure with light manufacturing zones, a cutting-edge training and simulation center, regulatory offices, and a dedicated union headquarters. Designed for efficient operations and seamless logistics, the port city positions Port of Spain as the Southern Caribbean's premier transshipment hub, where global trade meets local innovation. See Lots Industrial Park and Free Trade Zone. Modernized port governance hub with enhanced operational efficiency. An international health city in Port of Spain will feature state-of-the-art towers dedicated to diabetes, oncology, cardiac, and clinical services. These will also host a world-class training center positioning Trinidad and Tobago as a regional leader in medical education and care. By fostering the exchange of knowledge and expertise among healthcare professionals and enabling collaboration with renowned international medical institutions, this initiative promises to be a transformative asset for our nation's health sector and global standing. As part of our blueprint, we're enhancing the Queen's Park Savannah with respectful, legacy-honoring upgrades that unlock its full potential. The capital is entering a bold new chapter, re-envisioning its waterfront and urban gateways into a vibrant, connected coastal district. A formidable 40-acre national security campus will dominate Mount Hope, unified, strategic, and built for purpose. It will centralize vital operations, eliminate fragmentation, and elevate Trinidad and Tobago's readiness to respond, protect, and prevail. Advancing our focus on national security. We commence Node 7. Tamana, Center for Justice. Moving to the Eastern Plains, the Tamana Prison Campus resides, the largest single infrastructure project in national security history. We have consolidated the existing correctional facilities and proposed redevelopment of the land for mixed-use purposes. This facility will be home to courthouses, prison, and on-site residences with rehabilitation programs for the successful inmate reintegration. Tamana, a center for justice. Next, we shift our focus onto the Remand Yard, Port of Spain, a cornerstone of our revitalization narrative. Once a symbol of confinement, the Boys Jail now stands as a beacon of possibility. Emerging from this will be an arts and cultural center as a dynamic exhibition and events hall. It offers facilities for workshops, conferences, and cultural exchange. This bold transformation honors the past while empowering the future, where creativity, collaboration, and community take center stage. With the forthcoming integration of Carrera Prison into the Tamana program, a strategically positioned islet has emerged as available for redevelopment. This unlocks an exceptional opportunity to create a world-class vacation enclave envisioned with private bungalows, a serene marina, and an elegant boutique hotel designed to captivate discerning travelers. From isolation to inspiration. With the successful consolidation of the Tamana Justice Campus, a remarkable opportunity now unfolds, 280 acres of prime land poised for transformation. This isn't merely excess space, it's a blank canvas for national advancement. We envision a vibrant fusion of residential and commercial development that will serve our people and ignite regional prosperity. From welcoming homes to bustling enterprises and inclusive community spaces, every square foot will be shaped with intention. Node 10 highlights Caroni. A modern racetrack, multi-use recreational and cultural venue awaits. We are proud to unveil Node 11, the central government campus. The aim is to decentralize ancillary government services by relocating them from our bustling capital city to Chaguanas. The CGC will not only host several key ministries like sports and culture, it will also feature a multifunctional event amphitheater. Additionally, the campus will incorporate the Energy Tower. This development will serve as our new central capital city. A nation shaping its future with purpose, one development at a time. Trinidad and Tobago, a global hub, connecting us to the rest of the world.